All right, so Jalen Hurts is not better than Joe Burrow. And to say he is really kind of ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, I like Jalen Hurts as a quarterback. I think he's going to have an awesome career with Philadelphia, but he's not better than Joe Burrow. Let me prove it to you. So, does anybody think that if Jalen Hurts went to the Bengals, would have turned that franchise around? Anybody? Now, I hear people try to say that Joe Burrow isn't a great quarterback because of the receivers he has. Jalen Hurts got two receivers that are almost as good, arguably better. So that whole statement is just foolish. I'd like to tell you that Jalen Hurts' defense has always been better than Joe Burrow's. Always. I also like to point out that Jalen Hurts' offensive line has always been better than Joe Burrow's. Always. Let me also point out that the Philadelphia Eagles have always been a better franchise than the Cincinnati Bengals. Always. Would Jalen Hurts have been able to take the Bengals to the Super Bowl, getting sacked a record number of times? I don't think so. Once again, let me point out, I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. I think he's going to have an awesome career with Philadelphia. But he is not better than Joe Burrow. Would Joe Burrow have won a Super Bowl with Philadelphia? Of course. Brock Purdy would have won a Super Bowl with Philadelphia. Justin Herbert would have won a Super Bowl with Philadelphia. It's really hard to point out a quarterback so bad that the greatness of the Philadelphia Eagles would not have gotten a Super Bowl title. It really is. Now, don't get me wrong. Jalen Hurts is not a bad quarterback. He is a very, very good quarterback. The Eagles dominated Kansas City partially due to Jalen Hurts. But Saquon Barkley had a lot to do with that. Has Joe Burrow ever had a running back as good as Saquon Barkley? Never. So to say that that Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Joe Burrow is really pushing credibility. You can smile and laugh about it all you want, but it's really pushing your credibility as an NFL analyst. To make the statement that Jalen Hurts is better than Joe Burrow, but then try to say that Joe Burrow is not as good a quarterback as everybody thinks because of the talent that's around him is also severely pushing your credibility as an NFL analyst. Because the talent around Jalen Hurts is quantifiably better than what Joe Burrow has ever had. The organization Jalen Hurts works for is quantifiably better than the one that Joe Burrow works with. So I am not taking anything away from Jalen Hurts. He won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl MVP. He deserves it. He earned that. Beyond the shadow of a doubt, he earned that. But then to come by and say that he's better than Joe Burrow as a quarterback is straining your credibility as an NFL analyst. And you really should stop. Everybody who's doing this should really stop. The Cincinnati Bengals were a laughable organization. Laughable when Joe Burrow was picked number one. They were so bad that there were many, many, many people telling Joe Burrow not to go there because this organization was going to ruin his career. Did anybody tell Jalen Hurts that he shouldn't go to the Philadelphia Eagles? Because the Eagles as an organization was so horrible that they were going to ruin his career? That when Jalen Hurts got drafted in the second round, was there anybody who has watched the NFL that ever even thought, oh man, that's a bad spot for Jalen, man. He's done now. He's probably not even going to be in the league 5 years from now. No, there was not. The organizations historically are at separate ends of the NFL spectrum. Add in the GM for Philadelphia, who everybody considers the best at what he does. The GM for Cincinnati is the owner. And I've never heard anybody even suggest that he's the best at what he does. So let's stop, man. It's two different people in two different places, living two different NFL lives. Joe Burrow, if his defense would have been just slightly better, would have been in the playoffs last year. And anybody who says he wouldn't have been is really stretching their credibility as an NFL analyst. There is no defense in the NFL that wants to face Joe Burrow. None. The only defense that handled that man last year was the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's just a bad take, and it's making you look bad, right? Is Jalen Hurts better than Dan Marino? Anybody? Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. Won multiple MVPs, but never won a Super Bowl. Is Jalen Hurts better than Dan Marino? I think Jalen's probably going to get a couple more Super Bowls in his career with the Philadelphia Eagles. I really do. I have no doubt of it. And I just hope that Cincinnati works with Burrow enough to where he can get one. Just one. And I'd be ecstatic. So let's rein it in a little bit, guys. You can't say that Joe Burrow's not as good as everybody thinks because he's got two great wide receivers. But at the same time, try to say that Jalen Hurts is just awesome. He's a top 5 quarterback when he's got more than just two great wide receivers. He's got a great offensive line. He's got a great defense. He's got a great linebacker. So, man, let's stop. You try to twist it around. You try to make it look good. You try to giggle and laugh and try to make fun of people who try to put the truth out there. You all are sounding a lot like Donald Trump. Tariffs don't hurt the economy. Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Joe Burrow. I apologize if anybody is offended, but it really is a bad take. So I hope you enjoyed the vlog. If so, hit the like button and subscribe. I'll try to get more out. I'm going to be dedicated to doing this from now on. So, and yeah, just to let y'all know, George Pickens for Dallas is not going to work. Historically, when Pittsburgh steps off of a player because of their attitude, it doesn't go good for the team that they follow up with. It just doesn't. So good luck with that, Dallas. Who are also the only other team whose owner is the GM. Go figure. So God bless you all. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll try to get some more out soon. Y'all have a great day. Thank you.